Melissa Maker of upscale housekeeping service Clean My Space thought she was just marketing her business. Little did she know that her very clever approach to marketing would change everything.
Welcome to the Small Business Big Marketing Show, where successful small business owners share their secrets to take your marketing to the next level. Now here's your host, Tim Reid.
G'day listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid, but you, so much more importantly, are a motivated small business owner ready to crank out some great marketing. And I am coming to you from a hotel room in Sydney. Hence the reason I am not projecting as much as I would, because I just don't want to wake up the people next door. I am on the road this week, team. I've got a lot of talks, 3 days in Sydney, actually, full day every day. So pretty excited about that. First one starting tomorrow. Sharing the marketing love. That's what I'm doing. Talking about the concept of helpful marketing, which is what today's episode is pretty much all about and how it can change your life. Before I do that, let me tell you what we're going to cover. Besides that, I have got guest Melissa Maker from a fantastic little cleaning business in Toronto that's absolutely rocking it up. I was going to say cleaning it up, and I will, because that's a dad joke. I've got some listener feedback, and I have also got a question from a audience member, actually, not a listener, so to speak, but someone who was in my audience last week who asked me about how to get going in video. So lots to cover. Let's get stuck in.
Small Business Big Marketing with Tim Reid.
So I have been getting lots of iTunes reviews, team. Thank you so much for every single one of them. And I just wanted to share one with you because there's so many, I will read them over the course of the coming weeks and months, and, might get a celebrity impersonation done like I used to, but got a bit of stick for that. Others liked it, but hey, who knows? This one is from Add a Balloon, and the headline is Fan-bloody-tastic, 5 stars. And Add a Balloon says, I've been listening to Timbo for about 18 months now. Wow, that's a long time. Thank you very much for that. And I have to say, I've got something useful out of pretty much every episode. I hear that a lot. For those of you who are listening often, I suggest you either get a Small Business Big Marketing notebook or download that free app onto your smartphone called Evernote and start capturing your ideas. But don't just capture them, start to implement. Add a Balloon goes on to say, you end up feeling like you know him as he makes his show feel very personal to us small business owners. Well, I think there's a bit of magic in doing that. We're going to talk about that today with my guest, but you got to play to your strength. You got to add personality to your marketing. That is so important. So nice little pick up there, Add a Balloon. They go on to say, thanks, Timbo, and well done on such a great podcast. Love your work, Add a Balloon. Thank you so much for that iTunes review. Listeners, please, I'm not going to plead because that would get awkward, but if you can find 2 minutes in your day, I would love it if you went to iTunes and left a 1-sentence review of this show, because it really does help with my rankings and my ego. So I was speaking to a bunch of insurance brokers about a week ago about this concept of helpful marketing, which I talk a lot about inside the forum. It's a major keynote that I give these days, and sooner rather than later, I'll put a video up of me giving that keynote. I just want to I've been waiting for the right moment, the right venue to do it, but we're getting close. You know what helpful marketing is. It's when you solve the problems of your customers. It's that simple. Now, this question came from the audience. I feel like I need video, but don't know where to start. And video is such a great way of sharing your helpful marketing. So this is a great question, and I know many of you are toying with the idea of video. So here is the thing. Here is how you are going to get started on a video marketing strategy. Number one, from an equipment point of view, just use your smartphone. It's got a great video camera. So, okay, done. Equipment, tick. Next, here's what you're going to focus on. Make a video of one of these 3 things, okay? Number one, answer the question, why do you do what you do? I think it's a great thing you can just share to camera. Have someone interview you about it. I did this the other day with an insurance broker. I said, why do you love insurance? He said, because I like helping people. I thought, oh, really? What's the real truth about why you love selling insurance? He ended up telling me that his father passed away when he was 10, and it left his family in a very difficult financial situation, and he made a pact at the ripe old age of 10, mind you, that he wouldn't let that happen to him in his growing up and if and when he had a family. So that was his why, and that's a very, very powerful why. So get your why out on video. Number 2, identify a question you get asked all the time and answer it. Just answer it. Don't script it. Just give your beautiful, rich answer that you would give as if you were speaking to a client. And number 3, simply thank a client. Do a video that you thank a client for something. You know, thanks for the meeting. Here's what we covered. Send them a birthday wish, something like that. Don't over-engineer this video marketing team. Please just do something. Take action, all right? Once you've done it, once you've recorded your first video, go and find an editor on Elance or Fiverr.com and, start the process of building your virtual marketing team. Now, look, it's easier said than done, but it ain't that hard, I promise you. And if you do one of those 3 things to video, your video marketing strategy is underway. Righto, team. Now, as you know, this show is brought to us, or made possible, I should say, by the very good folk at Net Registry. I'm finding it really hard not to be loud. I just realised in doing this from my hotel room, I am really trying to keep a lid on my voice. When I'm doing this in my studio at home, I go a bit silly. I'm standing up at my stand-up desk and, just gesticulating and projecting, but I can't do that, again, because I'm worried about the people next door. Now, back to Net Registry. Number 1, Verity, who is one of my clients there. Love you, Verity, and well done on getting a big, big promotion. She is now Chief Marketing Officer. So well deserved. As I said to Verity, I'm the CEO of my company, the Chief Everything Officer. But Verity, really great to see you doing so well over at Net Registry. Now, team, Net Registry are there to get your online marketing sorted. Like, it is really that easy. So if you're struggling with any aspect of your online marketing, then Net Registry is kind of where you need to get to. They are going to help you with. This is like start to end solutions for your online marketing. Domain names, website hosting, design development, helping getting your website found through search engine optimization, Google AdWords campaigns. They'll do email marketing for you. They've even got a keyword service. So just give Net Registry a buzz. Head over to netregistry.com.au, send them an email, ask them a question. They're the most helpful bunch of people when it comes to getting your online marketing sorted. It's just not funny anymore because they're so good. netregistry.com.au and tell them Timbo sent you. Okay, time for today's guest, and I am so excited about this. A big thank you to forum member Nick May from wallsbydesign.com. Nick's from Denver, and he sent me an email. Oh, by the way, walls.com, let me tell you what they do, because I love Nick's kind of mindset around what they do. He says, we hire starving artists and teach them the art of painting houses. How good is that for a value proposition? Now, Nick sent me an email a few weeks ago. He said, I just ran across a young girl. Oh, I hope you didn't hurt her. I just ran across a young girl killing it up in Toronto with a cleaning business. Here's her contact details and a link to her YouTube channel. She really is nailing it. I had a look and immediately I could just tell Melissa Maker of Clean My Space really, really is nailing it. She's got this cleaning business in Toronto, right, where it's an upmarket, upscale cleaning, housekeeping business, really nailing it. A few years into having her business, she decided that she needed to market it differently to differentiate herself. So she started creating really helpful videos showing people how to clean stuff. And that all of a sudden took off big time. And if you go to Clean My Space on YouTube, I encourage you to go and have a look. You are going to see the most sweetest portfolio, sweetest playlist of videos you're ever going to see. Like, that's where we all want to get to, where Melissa has got to with her YouTube channel. Quite amazing. Now, what's even more amazing about it is that It helped market her business. Inquiry went off the hook, but it also built her a personal brand, and it added additional revenue streams to her business that she never thought possible. And this is exactly what has happened with my business. So this is a wonderful story about cleverly promoting any type of business in a very crowded marketplace, how you can do it, and also how creating amazingly helpful marketing can change absolutely everything. So excited when I got talking to Melissa, and you're going to hear it in my voice because I just couldn't get enough of it. A little bit of a Skype issue, but deal with it because it is just so worth it. I started off by asking Melissa what her favourite thing to clean is.
Gosh, my favorite thing to clean, I would say, would have to be my kitchen, because I really feel a huge difference once I've cleaned the kitchen. I feel so much better and happy to be in the kitchen.
Is there a little bit of anal retentiveness that comes along with your passion for cleaning?
You know, there isn't. I didn't get into cleaning and sort of all of the stuff that comes with cleaning because I love cleaning.
Oh.
I actually got into cleaning because I don't like cleaning, and I know that there are a lot of people in the world like me who also don't like cleaning and struggle with it. So my idea was to sort of help people out in terms of teaching them about cleaning, their probably least favorite topic.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so you had a problem that you needed solving and decided, well, no one else has stuck their hand up in the world to do it, so it may as well be you.
There you go. That's kind of what happened.
Love it. Hey, listeners, by the way, I'll just say up front, Melissa is in New York and she's doing this interview on her iPhone, which I love because you can create content anywhere, team. But there is a little bit of robotic voice happening every now and then. Hopefully we can get through the next 30 or so minutes in a clean kind of way, if you know what I mean. There's so many dad jokes that I'll be able to crack along the way. Hey, now, just for benefit of listeners, this is an audio show, Melissa. Explain what Clean My Space is and what it looks like.
Sure. Okay, so Clean My Space is sort of a twofold deal. In 2006, I started Clean My Space in Toronto, which is where I live, as an upscale housekeeping service. And in about 2010, we decided to start making YouTube videos because we thought it would help us get some new clients for our Toronto-based cleaning service. And what ended up happening was the videos, one thing led to another, and we started to get requests for more videos, and then we started to get subscribers, and then we started to get requests to do articles. So the digital side of things sort of took on a life of its own. So now Clean My Space is sort of two things. It's the service business, which is still very much alive and well in Toronto and where I spend half of my week. And then the other half of my week is dedicated to the digital side of things, which is all things Clean My Space on the internet. So our YouTube videos, our Facebook page, our blog, articles, any other work that I do in the online realm or otherwise pertaining to cleaning as a cleaning expert.
So Clean My Space in Toronto is still an upscale housekeeping service, is it?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, because I couldn't, on cleanmyspace.com, I couldn't find a reference to, say, booking you or one of your staff to come and clean.
You have to go to cleanmyspace.ca. That's our domain. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sneaky.
So .ca is effectively your retail business, is your service business?
Yeah, it's the service business.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, that's interesting. So why do you split them? Why would you have that? Why, when you've got so many people engaged at cleanmyspace.com, why wouldn't you just have a button that says, book me to clean your house?
I would love to have that ability. Unfortunately, it's difficult to, train and get service providers all over the world that I can effectively manage. So we're putting our heads down and trying to figure out a way to actually make that happen. But maybe we can talk about that on another show when we actually figure it out.
But, well, okay, so you took my question as being one of why can't I book you to clean my house in Australia? I actually meant just simply that you're going to have a whole lot of people, I guess. You only have cleaning staff in Toronto, yeah?
That's right.
Okay. So even so, I mean, why wouldn't you have a button that says, if you live in Toronto, let us come and clean you up?
It's not a bad idea. It's something that we can definitely think about. It's also, we get an influx of emails from people who say, "Oh, I live in this part of the world. Can you come and clean for me?" So I think we've sort of stayed away from it just because it's an additional barrage of emails that we really have a tough time managing. It's just another avenue for more emails to come in.
I hear you.
But I can't wait for the day, trust me, when we can start servicing people all over the world. It'll be a good one.
Now, I hear your pain. You're busy enough as it is. Tell me, I want to dig deep and talk about the video marketing, talk about your website management, talk about, the marketing team that you've got surrounding you, or maybe there isn't one. But before I do that, you mentioned something so interesting and so close to my heart before I hit record, which is the fact that you had a cleaning business and you started to market that cleaning business via some clever content marketing in the form of videos. Those videos took off and built you a personal brand, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is exactly what has happened to me, and
That's exactly what happened.
Okay, so I want listeners to really understand this, because when you go off and start to create really helpful, interesting, dare I say even entertaining content that promotes your business, and I don't care whether you're an accountant or a masseur or a plumber, that content, if you do it well, and therein lies the challenge, will spark so many other amazing opportunities and revenue streams in your life and your business. Do you agree with that, Melissa?
You've crystallized exactly what has happened to Clean My Space and me as a personal brand. Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable. I just think it's fascinating. So opportunities.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
You love it. You love it. Well, it's something so close to my heart. You're in New York right now. You literally just sat on a some kind of Google or YouTube panel just yesterday as a result of creating great marketing. What other doors have opened for you? There
have been opportunities to work with some of the world's biggest brands in a spokesperson capacity, which has been really fun and exciting and cool, and as you say, an additional revenue stream. And I find every time one opportunity takes place, several other opportunities become apparent, because I always travel. It doesn't matter how big or small my purse is, I stuff it full of business cards. And I am constantly networking and handing out my card. And, I have a picture of me holding a spray bottle, aiming it at the camera on the front of the card. And it's a very eye-catching card. And, people hang on to it, and they think, the next time I need something that's a little bit entertaining and a little bit interesting when it comes to cleaning, this is the girl I'm calling. And we've had, emails that come in. I would say we probably get dozens of emails a week just with opportunities. And now I'm so fortunate I actually get to turn lots of them away because there are other more interesting opportunities coming up. So, working with big brands has been super exciting. I've had opportunities to be on television. My YouTube channel was featured on the Today Show a couple of months back. It may have been more than a couple months back. Now that I think about it, it was probably snowing. So maybe a few months ago. But that kind of exposure, you get on the Today Show, your Twitter feed fills up. You see, you get, your subscriber number on YouTube practically quadruples that day. So, and then of course that affects your revenue stream as well. So it's really interesting to see how all of this starts to play out. And, I know revenue is such an important thing for you as well as your listeners, and it really does have a positive impact on your revenue and multiple revenue streams, I should throw in. You have YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Then I have my blog. I have a second YouTube channel, which I opened up just to talk about other things that aren't cleaning related, because people ask me how I got a certain hairstyle or where is my furniture from in my house, like things that I don't want to put on the cleaning channel. I think I mentioned our blog already, but the blog has been a really terrific revenue stream for us too. We're currently getting, I think my husband usually tracks all of the stats, but I think we get about 15,000 plus uniques a day on the blog.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So tell us about that moment, Melissa, then when you were cleaning homes and that was your main source of income, and then you realized, oh, hang on, all this video marketing in particular is starting to produce completely other opportunities within the business.
So as I said, initially I should say when I started the business in 2006, I cleaned for about a year and a half, and then I was able to hire and have people do the cleaning for me. Just to give you a timeline, in 2010, we started our first video, and then it took us from 2010, it took us about a year and 2 months to build 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is, it requires so much dedication to keep putting content out, especially when you're not getting the kind of viral action that you hear other people getting.
Oh yeah. Now stop right there, because that is massive. What you just said there. How many people fall off and go, oh geez, I've created a video a month for 2 months. So you've created 8 videos and I haven't got anything back. It's like, it's such the wrong question. Don't look at the scoreboard. Just continue to create helpful, engaging content. Don't look at the scoreboard, and stuff will happen at a point in time.
That's exactly the case. I think it goes with owning a business. You have to be tenacious and feisty. And it's the same thing with doing content marketing. You cannot rest, and you can't be discouraged by the fact that you're not getting the kind of numbers that you see these big people getting. It takes time to get there. And then once you get there, you kind of reflect back and you say, it took a lot of hard work to get here, and I deserve every additional subscriber, follower, click, whatever, because I've worked so hard to get there. It's an incredible amount of dedication that it takes. It's not easy, but the rewards are unbelievable.
So I think you said it was just over a year to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. How frequently were you posting?
So our posting schedule was rather infrequent at that point because we hadn't quite figured out our formula. And I'm sure that, you probably talk a lot about being very formulaic with your marketing. And it's the exact same thing with online content and video content. YouTube, their best practices are to release content like a television show, release it the same time each and every week so that people know when to tune in and find your new stuff. So for us, it probably took, I would say, about 2 years for us to start releasing on a regular basis. And now we release every Saturday at, between 12 and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So, I think that's really important, because what you do, I say to my clients, and when I'm speaking from stage about this stuff, is that you all of a sudden go from having one business to 2 businesses if you take this marketing approach. And the first business is the business you're in. So for you, it's cleaning. Yep. The second business is your media business. And that's where you start creating a media platform to promote your first business. And so if you're creating media, you've got to set an expectation with your audience that, hey, listen, like, for example, this show that you're on now goes out every Tuesday. I actually don't have a time on a Tuesday, but it goes out every Tuesday, and you've just got to set that expectation.
That's right, because one of the things that people love, and especially as we're transitioning off of television and onto digital content, people need the regularity, right? They want to know where they can get a regular fix of their favorite stuff. So I found that, once we started releasing on a regular basis, our subscriber numbers, which is our quote unquote scoreboard on YouTube, definitely went up. And people admittedly say, hey, it's Saturday and I've been looking forward to your latest video. So it's really sweet and it's nice because people genuinely are waiting and they are really excited.
Yeah, totally. And I think we've got to recognise as business owners the fact that let's take our business owner hat off. As consumers and previous watchers of TV, many of us have given up TV, but we still like the regularity of consuming content in some form. So I think there's a lot of business owners out there that are probably thinking, I could never do this. Someone else is smarter or better in front of camera or more talkative in front of a microphone, but gee, my advice, and I'm sure you'd be the same, Melissa, would be just start, because the quicker you start, the quicker you're going to get better, and the quicker you are going to build a loyal tribe who can't wait for your next piece of content.
That's totally the case. I always jokingly say, don't look at my first video, but of course it's out there in the ether. You can see it. And it's totally embarrassing. And I did it myself. I used a horrible camera. The audio sucked. The editing was pathetic, but there it is. And I put in some awful jokes. I mean, our humor has definitely improved since. And I would say for us, cleaning is such a boring topic. Humor, we really do try to inject humor into the videos as well.
Okay, let's talk about that, because I feel like I'm talking to a female version of me. You've been on the same journey and you say the same thing. We've got the same learnings. Okay, you let's talk about, you've made cleaning interesting. I gave a keynote earlier this week to a bunch of insurance brokers, and one of them said I would run, and I talked about this topic. One of them said I would run out of content in 2 weeks. How could I possibly make insurance exciting? And I believe anything can be made interesting. It doesn't have to be made exciting or even entertaining. None of us are comedians, although I do like some of the dad jokes I put out. But it's about creating, for me, it's engaging and helpful content. That's what you want to create.
I think that's exactly it. And, what we do is I know most people don't like cleaning. And I mean, insurance, I suppose, is the same way. It's something that people don't really want to think about. But at the same time, it's a fact of life. Yeah, and it's a fact of life. So if you can kind of take a pain point for somebody and figure out, as you say, how to make it engaging, so how to make it memorable and fun, that's sort of what I think about. And then, if you can get a little bit of entertainment in there too, people appreciate it. I mean, it shouldn't overshadow the story that you're trying to get across. But if you can, if we can make people smile and have them remember how to do something, we've done our job. So, when I take a topic like how to clean your toaster, I'll tell you the tools and products that you need. I'll break down the techniques for you. I give you really great visuals. I'll try to get something kind of funny in there, so maybe you'll crack a smile. And then I ask you to comment, and I have what are called my calls to action at the end. So like the video, subscribe to the videos, check out my other videos. And here's my comment question of the week. What kind of toaster do you have? A toaster oven or a pop-up toaster or something like that? So I'm always thinking about how to keep that conversation going after the viewer has stopped watching the content. I either want them to comment on my videos or I want to direct them to a new video.
Love it. So there's so many learnings there, listeners. We've got, in terms of a structure for if you were embarking on video or even audio, can apply to both, but make a point, tell a story, crack a gag, not a big gag, but just get a smile on people's dials, and then have a call to action at the end, because, we're not here to create art. We're actually here to create marketing for either our business, our personal brand. And, the question is, what do you want someone to do having listened or watched that piece of content? And then, of course, asking a question like you do at the end, Melissa, encourages people to have a conversation with you.
That's right. And having that conversation, let me put out there how important it is to continue that conversation with your audience, or what I call the Clean My Space community. I call them my community. Yep. They're tweeting me questions. They're tweeting me pictures of their dirty bathrooms and stains on their sofas, all kinds of stuff. And, I spend a lot of time. I can't always get back to people because, I have a day job and I have other things going on, but I do everything I can. We probably spend 2 hours a day answering emails and tweets and Facebook messages and YouTube comments, because that ongoing engagement with your audience, your community, is also what helps establish a personal connection. And I think one of the benefits of being in this sort of digital age is that, unlike a TV star or a movie star, we're actually very attainable, for our audience to talk to. We're very accessible. So if someone tweets me, I can tweet them right back. And at first they're so excited. Oh my God, she wrote me back. But then they start to get used to it, and they're like, hey, I could talk to Melissa anytime. And that's what I love, and you almost develop this kinship with your audience, and you can't get that anywhere else. And from a personal brand standpoint and from a business building standpoint, I mean, what better way to build your audience, right?
Amazing, because all of a sudden, I come from an advertising background of many years ago, and, we'd create ads, we'd put the ads on TV or radio in the newspaper. That was a one-way street. That's push marketing. Whereas what we have now is we being small business owners, generally have the ability to create marketing that starts a conversation that then can be picked up up, once it goes onto YouTube or onto Facebook or onto iTunes or onto your website, people can start to comment and we can have a conversation. And I love it being able to communicate that way. And when people say, God, I can't believe you replied, I was like, God, I can't believe you said that. As if I'm not going to reply.
I know the feeling.
I
know the feeling.
Oh, goodness me. This is a great conversation. Listeners, I hope you're sticking with it in terms of there's a little bit of robotic talk, but Melissa is making so much sense. It's funny, Melissa, you share a name almost identical with a past guest of mine who created the most viral video in the world, First Kiss. Her name's Melissa Coker.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Have you seen First Kiss?
Is that the one where two strangers meet and they start kissing?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yes, you share a very similar name. Now, you talk about we a lot. So this is not all you. Who's the royal we in your business life that helps you reply to the conversations and the emails and creates all this wonderful marketing that you're doing?
Well, I married the royal we almost 3 years ago. So my husband, Chad, he is the other half of the business. So to give you a timeline, I always like giving timelines. I think it really helps people understand, this didn't happen overnight. So we started dating in June of 2006. We started Clean My Space in October of 2006. And it was mostly me. He was just sort of helping, nice boyfriend at the time, building me a website and making business cards for me.
He was trying to woo you.
And then I think that was part of his whole strategy, frankly, just, a free website, why not? But then what ended up happening was, he started to take a more active approach in terms of building the cleaning services out. And he was always sort of a savvy guy in terms of being able to learn different types of software and programs. So he eventually took over the filming and the editing of the videos. And then he also ended up, as the digital side of things grew, he started building out the blog and taking care of advertising and all that kind of stuff. So I always tell people I'm the 20% you see, he's the 80% you don't.
Yeah, you got to have one of them.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to manage something this scale on your own. And, we're actually contemplating getting somebody else to help us out now because the overwhelm is just, when it rains, it pours with this stuff. So you have to be prepared to receive every opportunity and go after it as best you can. So in order to do that, you have to have the people. So we're actually kind of in the process of doing that right now, trying to find somebody else to give us a hand.
What kind of person, what are the skill sets you're looking for in that next employee?
Oh my gosh, I call it the digital Swiss Army knife. You need to have editing skills. You need to have, WordPress skills. You have to have a good understanding of how digital marketing and content works. This person ideally would also have some camera skills. So there's a lot that's required there. And then, of course, good etiquette so that if they're ever responding back to a comment, they understand the tone that we use when we're talking to our audience and they're being polite and fun and engaging. So it's a tall order.
Wow. There'll be someone out there. That is a tall order. There'll be someone out there, but they're worth, I'd say, probably about $500,000 a year. You'll probably get someone like that.
I think so. Do you want the job?
I tell you what, if I was looking for a job, that is a fun job and something that uses so many wonderful skill sets. Let's talk about your video. Let's talk about the creation of a piece of video content. You've already given us the structure. You have obviously gone into a more advanced mode these days because of the success you've had. So, you've got a lovely edit happening. You've got a good quality camera happening. There may even be two cameras, I'm thinking, on some of the videos or that you're shooting. But tell us, make video marketing accessible for the small business owner listening in. How can they do it? And what if there's two questions here, sorry, and what if they're scared of the camera?
Yeah, so being scared of the camera is something I would say just grin and bear it. It feels extremely awkward, especially when you're setting up your little point and shoot camera. And I just bought one of those flexible little tripods. I think they're called Joby's, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I bought one of those. I set it up. And like I said, the audio was bad. The lighting was bad. Everything was not going my way, but I just did it. And I had to stop, telling myself how awful I looked and sounded and how awkward everything was. And, I just sort of got over that as I was editing it. And I tried to take a more objective approach to the content. And I think that really helped. Like I watched the content and I started coaching myself. I'd say, okay, next time I sit in front of the camera, I think I'll try saying it like this instead of like that. Or I'm really going to try not to say or like so much. So those sort of things start to come as you watch yourself and critique yourself in a kind way, and sort of develop your skills. But nobody starts off looking amazing. That's just that you ask any person who has videos, nobody starts off looking good. It's something that you just build, and it's a skill like anything else. You just get better at it as you keep going, but you have to keep going in order to develop.
Yeah, totally. And I say to my audience, this is not a Hollywood production. You may well get to the level of Hollywood production, but right now, be objective, as you said, about the content. Know that you are educating, helping people make a more informed decision, have a better life, whatever outcome you're looking for in terms of that content, and focus on that. Focus less on you and more on your audience.
I would totally agree with that. I mean, for us, for Chad and I, Chad's my husband, we always say the audience comes first. So everything that we do, we always think about them. Are they going to like it? Is it interesting for them? Will they find that joke funny, or is that not going to go over so well? Have we put the cats in too many videos and maybe we pull back a little bit? Like every little thing that we do, and even larger things that we do, like sponsorship opportunities, we always think, will the audience like this company that we're potentially going to work with, or should we pass this opportunity up? So yeah, if you're always thinking about your audience, they will appreciate what you're putting out. And like you say, it doesn't have to be a Hollywood production. They'll start to focus on you and your information more than the scenery, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. Now, you were lucky enough to have Chad, who's kind of can do all the background stuff. You're the 20% in front of camera. Chad's the 80%. It's the iceberg theory, isn't it? But one of the things I say again is like, focus to small businesses thinking of going down this path. Focus on creating the content, and cash flow willing, find other people to do the editing, to maybe even buy your equipment, to focus on anything that is technical or that is a blockage to you not doing it. Outsource it.
Well, I just think that's good business advice in general. Being a jack of all trades doesn't serve you well in anything that you do. I mean, I have a fabulous accountant because accounting is not my strong suit. I have a great accountant and he takes great care of the business. So it's the same thing. I agree. You focus on the content, you work on developing your own delivery skills, and then there are so many, this is becoming a ubiquitous form of employment out there now. Everybody is a cameraman or everybody's making YouTube videos. So if you go on Craigslist or whatever local classified site that you have in your country, you can probably see people posting up, hey, I'm a cameraman. I work, this is my hourly rate, and you can develop relationships with them. I know YouTubers in Toronto who do that. And the guy edits, the guy shoots, and all they have to do is create the content and sign a check. And it's not a huge check either.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tell me, oh boy, there's so many questions racing through my mind. It's such a refreshing conversation to have. It's
my
exciting.
Pleasure.
Tell me, you create the content. You've got a YouTube channel now that gives you your traffic. And you're only at YouTube in New York yesterday. I want to hear maybe a couple of insights to what they were saying. But before we do that, I'm guessing you then embed that. Well, not guessing. I'm looking at it now. You embed the video onto your website. Is that the primary source of people then finding that content, or is YouTube?
So it's mixed, because what happens is, I like to say cleaning is a very Googleable subject. So people will typically Google how to clean a Keurig coffee maker, how to clean sterling silver. So these are all great keywords. And then if we have a video on it, we're tagging our videos properly and including the right kind of metadata to attract those people who are searching for content. So that's a really interesting point to make too. You have to make sure that once you put content out there, that it's well optimized for search.
Oh, I won't go too geeky there, Melissa, because it's not the nature of the show, and we talk about this stuff inside my forum. But suffice to say, what you have done there is you've done some keyword searching to see, hey, is there a lot of people looking for how to clean stainless steel cutlery? And if there is, so you check that on Google, and then if there is, you then go and create a piece of content that responds to that, and then you complete the metadata, the headline, the description, the tags, the categories within YouTube and on your website so that Google can find it. Have I missed anything?
No, that's pretty good. I mean, we do check as well, but and everything else that you said is exactly what we do, but we look at our comments and we know what people are asking for. So back to your insurance agent who said he'd run out of content in 2 weeks. If you build an audience, they will perpetuate your flow of question and content forever. So, I don't have the fear of running out of anything. And if it's a very specific question, it's probably not something we're going to get to. But if it's something that's very universal, like how to clean a remote control, that's something that people are searching for. So we'll test it out in search, but people find us by typing in how to clean a remote control. And then when Google pops results up for them, because we are so well optimized, they'll see our stuff. So they might see a video, they might see a blog post, and then they'll click on one article, they'll read that article, they'll say, oh, they have a video embedded, they'll watch the video, and then who knows, they might subscribe to our YouTube channel, they might read another article, they might look something else up, they might favorite it, they might send it to a friend. So that's kind of what happens. I think people just find us very organically and then fall in love with the content because it's useful and applicable to their lives.
Yeah. When you do create the content, Melissa, when you put a video on your website, what's your strategy for then getting it out there? Because I talk a lot about you've got to market your marketing. And what I mean by that is if I create a podcast episode and just embed, put it on my website, then, Google will find it and people will find it organically. But I'll give it a much better chance if I share it across all social media platforms. I email it out to my database. I might even buy some Facebook advertising to promote a particular episode. Are these some of the things that you do, and what else do you do? Yeah,
that's pretty accurate. I mean, when we put an article out, we will launch it on Facebook, we'll launch it on Twitter, and then, we might talk about it on Instagram. And then what we do is we have a content release schedule on Facebook. So, we just release different pieces throughout the week. So we remarket old stuff. That way we don't have to come up with new stuff every day because there's a really good chance. I mean, when you're looking at the back end of Facebook, which to me is a great marketing tool, by the way, and you see how many people have actually seen your post, not all of your fans have seen all of your content. You have to continue to remind them, hey, this article exists. Hey, have you seen this article? And we have used paid promotion on Facebook before. And the majority of our demographic, I would say, is on Facebook. We have a little bit of an older demographic. So Twitter is good, Instagram is good, but we're not as big on those platforms. So we really focus on Facebook as well as YouTube and Google+, which also allows us to push out information to people. And Google+ is relatively new. You kind of have to get used to it, but it's been very useful for us as well in terms of pushing out messaging. Hey, check out this video. That's been really good for us too.
That's interesting. Google+ is one of those ones. I mean, it's been around a while now, certainly not as long as Facebook. I had a Google+ expert run a webinar inside my forum a few months ago, and, it's certainly done well, it can be great for search engine optimization. And I almost feel, though, that using Google+, you're using it because you want to kind of keep the monster happy, if you know what I mean. You want to keep Google happy as opposed to going, wow, so many people are on Google+.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with Google+ is they're integrated with YouTube commenting. So,
correct.
That's why if you're on YouTube, you really have to embrace Google+ because that's the direction that Google wants you to go in. So you learn to love it.
Tell me, just wrapping up, Melissa, I so appreciate you sharing all this marketing gold, as I call it. My
pleasure.
You were at YouTube in New York yesterday. You were on a panel. What any insights that you can share with us? We're down under, remember, everything comes here late.
Sure. So I was on a creator panel and we were talking to a very large brand. I won't spill the beans, but we were speaking to a very large brand just about how really, really large companies can start thinking about their own content creation strategy on YouTube and how they can sort of develop their own unique voice. Because, a lot of large brands will have a YouTube channel where they simply upload their 30-second TV spots. And most viewers on YouTube aren't really interested in that kind of content. So, there were 4 of us in total, and we were all sort of saying the same thing. The things that are really important on YouTube is being authentic and being very connected to your audience. So, being authentic means that you're not lying to them, and you sort of have to share a little bit of information about yourself personally because your audience starts to become friends with you and you have to sort of let them in a little bit. So really feeling comfortable and learning how to sort of expose yourself that way without, too much information getting out there. That's really important. So, from a big brand perspective, gosh, how do they scale that down and how do they actually make that happen? Yeah. So that was sort of the problem we were trying to help them solve yesterday. And then, a lot of what we were talking about now, just programming and figuring out, how many times a week do I post? Do I need a regular posting schedule? Do I have to tailor my posts for things going on during different parts of the year? So, something that I think your listeners might really benefit from is understanding a tentpole event, which is basically, holidays or prom, things that come up that might be beneficial for you as a content creator. So, for example, if you're a cooking channel or a cooking blogger, you might really want to focus on holidays, 5 healthy holiday meals or a Valentine's Day dinner he'll never forget, things like that. So sort of planning your content around these tentpole events is also really important. So that's just another thing that we were trying to get out there to this big brand and help them
what's
understand.
really reassuring when you're talking about that? I didn't realize you were there to kind of advise. It was like an advisory council for a big brand. One of my sort of catch cries, Melissa, is that there has never been a better time to market a small business. And you just confirmed it then, because here are these big brands looking to us little guys going, how do you do it? We're kind of used to just spending millions of dollars on 30-second TV commercials and pushing them out. And now you guys, I use the example of this show ranks number 1 more often than not on iTunes, above Harvard Business School, above Apple, above the Australian Stock Exchange. And it's because we're just creating useful, helpful content. We're putting a smile on people's face, and the big brands continue to just push sales messages upon us.
And you're exactly right. It's a whole new world. And that's what we were doing. We were helping this large brand and advising them. And we had the ear of Europe, Latin America, North America. Like, this was a global team that was there. And, we had a cocktail hour after, and I was being bombarded by people from all over the world from this particular brand. And it was amazing. Like, it was a great experience for me. So I think this goes to what you were speaking about earlier, and just building your personal brand. These are opportunities that you can't buy. You can only work your way there, and you can, only through great content creation and a really consistent marketing strategy can you actually build that up. So, I think it kind of brings it full circle. You can kind of see where this all comes from.
Correct. You have, but I can't thank you enough, Melissa. Listeners, I've been speaking to Melissa Maker from, I can't remember now because I've done so many great stuff we've covered, Clean My Space. And, I absolutely love talking to you. And, I would love to talk to you maybe in 12 months' time to see where this journey has taken you. There's some many twists and turns ahead, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. My husband and I look back and we say, I can't believe we're here. 3 months ago, who even knew we were going to be here? So it's amazing the pace at which things happen.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Good on you.
My pleasure.
Mercedes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I love that interview. I'm actually going to, I don't often listen back to my interviews, but I'm going to listen back to that a couple of times. There was marketing gold dripping from every crevice of the ceiling. Hey, that song, Sadie the Cleaning Lady, sung by Australia's very own The Voice, John Farnham, the original voice, Farnsey, as we call him, and a bit of a classic from, I think, the late 60s from memory. Now, before I give you my top 3 learnings from that fireside chat with Melissa, let me quickly tell you about Swiftly.com. And I say swiftly, I also say quickly, because that's exactly what Swiftly is all about. Small design fixes real fast, like 1 hour fast. Swiftly is ideal for altering your business card details, logo, touch-ups, banner ad updates, photo, shopping, all that type of stuff. And you simply upload your artwork, any file type, absolutely any file type, tell them what needs doing, and boom, within an hour, often much less, it's done. All for just $19. Lots of forum members are using it and loving it. Check them out at swiftly.com. That is Swiftly. Okay, how do I get my chat with Melissa down to 3 top learnings? Because for me, I don't know, I would love to hear from you what you thought, but I just thought there's so many learnings in it. Guys and girls listening, please head over to episode 197 at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Leave a comment in the show notes because I would love to hear what you got from that chat. Here's what I got. Number 1, develop your unique voice. Get clear on your brand's personality and live it, team. It's going to be a game changer if you do it. List those 3 or 4 personality traits that best represent your brand and live it through every touch point. I've got a whole exercise on this, a whole tutorial on this in the classroom section of the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. Get in there and do it. Examples of businesses that do this, brands that do it: Vino Mofo, past guest of the show; Dollar Shave Club, future guest of the show, I hope. And I like how Jeep have just this wonderful, unique voice that they own. So go on, do it yourself, get your voice, find your voice. Number 2, tip for top 3 tips from Melissa. Number 2, commit to creating helpful content. Amazing things will happen. I don't know, I bang on about this maybe too much, but I can't help not, because I want it to happen to you just as it's happened to Melissa, just as it's happened to me. It's incredible. Darren Finkelstein, another past guest of the show, he's on the band of helpful content, helpful marketing. Amazing things are happening to his business, to his life. When you are helpful, good things happen. It's just the woo-woo. It's the way the world goes around. So get out there and don't look at the scoreboard. Just start being helpful and set an expectation around the structure and frequency of your helpful marketing. Number 3, remarket old content. I love this one. I've been meaning to do it for a while. I mean, I'm sitting on almost 200 episodes of this show. I need to get back and, retweet, post back on Facebook, blog about, email about some past episodes. There is gold in there. It's a wonderful discussions happening in the forum where people are saying, I just listened to episode 1 again, or episode 11, or, 46, and there's gold there. This is evergreen information on this show, team. Get back and have a listen to the archive and remarket your old content as well. I also loved Melissa's digital Swiss Army pocket knife description of her next employee. I got so much out of that interview. Thank you to Melissa Maker. I hope you guys did too. That's it, team. Another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show pretty much wrapped up. Remember, Net Registry are there to get your online marketing sorted, and Swiftly are all about small design fixes done real fast. Plenty of very special guests coming up over the coming weeks. If you haven't subscribed at iTunes to this show, I suggest you do. That way you are going to be the first to know when a new episode goes up. Enough from me. I'm Timbo Reid, and you've been smart enough to tune in to the world's #1 marketing show. Yeah, I'm going to say the world's #1 marketing show. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.
You've been listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show with Tim Reid. Want more marketing goodness? Then visit smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.